Good evening and welcome to Bristol Refugee Festival 2021. My name's Jules Olsen and I'm the Festival Director. Just a few housekeeping notes before I begin. If in case of fire, please go to the nearest exit, probably straight behind you through the foyer doors. Please switch off any mobile phones. If you are standing, please could you have your mask on if you move about, but if you're seated, you may have your mask off. Any rubbish from the snacks that you're eating, please just leave on the table and somebody will clear them later. And the toilets that you can use are up on the next level. It doesn't seem a year ago since I was stood outside my house making a short video to introduce the 2020 festival. Our first online programme, a concept that would have seemed completely alien in previous years. Whilst we have all got to grips with our digital lives, I'm still very delighted to welcome our first live audience for over a year here at the Bristol Beacon, and would like to thank Sam, our administrator, and the Bristol Beacon staff for making it happen within pretty tough guidelines. I'd also like to thank the Somali Kitchen for providing very delicious snacks. I'm also pleased to welcome those of you who are joining us online for our first ever live stream. This year's festival theme is We Cannot Walk Alone, Let's Walk Together. In his I Have a Dream speech, Martin Luther King, referring to whites joining black people in the movement for equal rights, said, "They have come to realize that their freedom is inextricably bound to our freedom. We cannot walk alone." Over the last year, it has been very difficult for many of us, but through these hard times, we have seen communities come together in kindness and support, particularly for those more vulnerable members of our society, reminding us what we can do when we work together. This has highlighted to me how interdependent we truly are. And so we ask you to continue to reach out a hand of support and welcome, particularly to those who come to our shores seeking safety. They should not have to feel alone, so let's walk together. Our programme this year runs until the 20th of June and is both online and live. All the details can be found on our website and social media platforms. The programme includes book displays at Bristol Central Library in Junction 3 featuring refugee authors and themes, online talks and Q&As about community engagement in refugee camps and another about the asylum process. There is a film and a Q&A about clothing poverty and a live open-air magic show for children. There are various art and creative workshops and an art exhibition from the Bristol Refugee Artists Collective and UWE. Finally, on the 20th of June, which is World Refugee Day, we have Celebrating Sanctuary. Unfortunately, we had to take the difficult decision to postpone our flagship event in central Bristol once again. However, it has given us a great opportunity to try something different, and this year we introduce Celebrating Sanctuary Local. Our community programme, funded by the National Lottery, is about creating places of welcome in local spaces. We have therefore joined the local community organisations and refugee support agencies to hold a series of small celebrations around the city. Unfortunately, due to restrictions, we cannot invite everybody to these, but we would still like you to join us by holding your very own Celebrating Sanctuary event. We have put together a toolkit of ideas and resources on our website to help you do this. This includes ideas such as having a picnic with friends in the park and ordering food from a refugee-led outlet. Or you could have a Celebrating Sanctuary at home by watching one of our gigs from our YouTube account. You could even have a gig on your doorstep by booking one of the refugee musicians that work with Lara. Or you could have a film screening with friends in your house. Try a new recipe, download one of the recipe cards from our website, or you could read a book with a refugee theme and have a book club event. There's various ideas, so please go to our website to find out more. This is an open invitation for everybody in Bristol and beyond, and I believe there has already been one organised in Falmouth. And please don't forget to share your celebration with us using the hashtag #CelebratingSanctuaryLocal. Let's make it a local World Refugee Day. I am now very pleased to welcome to the stage Özcan, who is a Turkish-born singer and guitarist and has been with us in the UK for 2.5 years. And this will be his first UK live gig.
Evlerinin önü yoldur, yoldan geçen karakoldur. Evlerinin önü yoldur, yoldan geçen karakoldur. Oy. Kurban olam allı gelin, gel testini bizden doldur. Oy. Kurban olam allı gelin, gel testini bizden doldur. Oy. Al Fadimem, bal Fadimem, yanakları gül Fadimem oy. Al Fadimem, bal Fadimem, yanakları gül Fadimem oy. Uyan uyan sabah oldu, namazını kıl Fadimem oy. Uyan uyan sabah oldu, namazını kıl Fadimem oy. Şu dağların burcu musun, kız boynumun borcu musun oy. Şu dağların burcu musun, kız boynumun borcu musun oy. Kurban olam allı gelin, sen kötünün harcı mısın oy. Kurban olam allı gelin, sen kötünün harcı mısın oy? Al Fadimem, bal Fadimem, yanakları gül Fadimem oy. Al Fadimem, bal Fadimem, yanakları gül Fadimem oy. Uyan uyan, sabah oldu, namazını kıl Fadimem oy. Uyan uyan, sabah oldu, namazını kıl Fadimem oy. Uyan uyan, sabah oldu, namazını kıl Fadimem oy. Thank you very much. Gel benim derdime bir derman eyle. Gel benim derdime bir derman eyle. Alemler derdine derman olansın, derman olansın. Özümün hükmüne bir ferman eyle. Alemler hükmüne ferman olansın. Özümün hükmüne bir ferman eyle. Alemler hükmüne ferman olansın. Bir ismim Haydar'dır, bir ismim Ali. Bir ismim Haydar'dır, bir ismim Ali. Hak Murtaza dedi sana ya Ali, sana ya veli. Cihanın ahiri hem de evveli, velayet mülküne sultan olansın. Cihanın ahiri hem de evveli, velayet mülküne sultan olansın. Sultan abdalım meydanda merdim, Pir Sultan abdalım meydanda merdim. Her nere baktımsa yarimi gördüm, yarimi gördüm. Ferde tesbihim, evrarım birdim, garip gönüllere mihman olansın. Dilimde tesbihim, evradım birdim, garip gönüllere mihman olansın. Thank you very much. Every time I say it, my English not good. I am from Turkey. My mother Kurdish, my father Turkish. What I am, I don't know. I am confused. Today I am singing to you from Anatolia, from Anatolia. I hope you will like it. Thank you very much. Bahçalarda mor meni, verem ettin sen beni. Bahçalarda mor meni, verem ettin sen beni. Nasıl verem olmayım, elleri sarıyor seni, elleri sarıyor seni. Ben sana yandım gelin, yanağı aldı gelin. Gaziantep yolunda öldürdün beni
Ben sana yandım gelin, yanağı aldı gelin. Gaziantep yolunda öldürdün beni gelin. Bahçalarda meleme, yar göğsün düğmeleme. Bahçalarda meleme, yar göğsün düğmeleme. Ölürsem kandım sensin, gözlerin sürmeleme, gözlerin sürmeleme. Ben sana yandım gelin, yanağı aldı gelin. Gaziantep yolunda öldürdün beni gelin. Ben sana yandım gelin, yanağı aldı gelin. Gaziantep yolunda öldürdün beni gelin. Bahçalarda saz olur, gül açılır, yaz olur. Bahçalarda saz olur, gül açılır, yaz olur. Ben yarime gül demem, gülün ömrü az olur, gülün ömrü az olur. Ben sana yandım gelin, yanağı aldı gelin. Gaziantep yolunda öldürdün beni gelin. Ben sana yandım gelin, yanağı aldı gelin. Gaziantep yolunda öldürdün beni gelin.
Thank you very much.
Gitme aklım sende kalır, uyuyamam geceleyin. Gitme aklım sende kalır, uyuyamam geceleyin. Hiç ayrılmadık seninle, hiç ayrılmadık seninle. Değil bir sene, bir gün bile gitme hiç ayrılmadık seninle, hiç ayrılmadık seninle. Değil bir sene, bir gün bile gitmem. Belki bir şey olmaz ama korkuyorum, elde değil. Belki bir şey olmaz ama korkuyorum, elde değil. Hiç ayrılmadık seninle, hiç ayrılmadık seninle. Değil bir sene, bir gün bile gitme. Hiç ayrılmadık seninle, hiç ayrılmadık seninle. Değil bir sene, bir gün bile gitme.
Thank you very much.
You walked off a bit quickly, but thank you very much again. Another round of applause for Earthshan. That was absolutely beautiful. And you can find more of his music on his YouTube channel. And I recommend actually listening to it while you're working. It's really, really nice and calming. The next person I'd like to welcome up to the stage is Ken Macharia. Ken's originally from Kenya, and he's going to talk to you about the fundraiser that we're supporting this year.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kenneth Macharia. I'm Chair of Board of Trustees of Bristol Refugee Rights. I'm not Center. The Welcome Center is a hive of activity where we meet, chat, play games, and eat. It's kind of to make us feel welcome and make each other feel welcome. But it's not all fun and games. There's practical help as well. And it's a place to sit and wait maybe for an appointment for advice for destitution support. You can see a picture of the Welcome Center. We used to be at the Malcolm X Center. During the pandemic, Bristol Refugee Rights has had to move the services online and on the telephone. And we have distributed over 270 phones and tablets, 600 data packs, offered online training. All this has increased access to services, increased knowledge, and combated isolation. We have also ensured that more than 800 families and individuals have had food and ensured access to housing, healthcare, and solicitors, and increased access to services. Members of Bristol Refugee Rights face poverty, poor health, social isolation, uncertainty due to the long waits without knowing when you'll get an answer and whether the answer will be positive or negative, lack of English, and general hostile environment. Asylum seekers are not allowed to work and do not have access to benefits, and some do not have even access to asylum support. This results in destitution and sometimes homelessness. Refugee organizations in Bristol have been supporting people in this situation for a long time. You can see a list of the organizations are supporting, but now we need your solidarity. With your donations, we can give individuals and families £10 a week. With this, they can buy a bus ticket to move between houses where they are staying, top up mobile phones so that they can call friends or services like ours for support, or even buy food. We have a crowdfunder running, and this is the page for the crowdfund, and the website for the crowdfund is crowdfund.co.uk/solidarity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ken. Please do support if you can. The next person I'd like to invite to the stage is a Bristol-born Somali poet named Khaltoon, and she's going to read 2 poems for us.
Hello, everyone. It feels so weird not wearing a mask in front of people, so let's see how this goes. But hopefully you can hear me quite well. So thank you for the lovely introduction. I'm going to read you guys 2 pieces today. One is from my own collection, Callie's Collectives, and it really was the first one I wrote for it, and it's called Journey. I thought it was quite fitting for the theme, so here it goes. Lifting your leg, each stride like the oceanic waves are fighting them, to stop, to return, to forget. But one must continue, for the ride is neither short or long, structured or improper, right or wrong. For the future is unforeseen, where each day races with the night sky, and what the eyes remember is fiction. And my next piece is for Refugee Week. So, as mentioned before, the theme is around, we cannot walk alone, let's walk together. So, here it goes. Our journey is not simple. Never was and will be. It is elegant and authentic, with as many faces as can be. From the north to southern hemisphere, across latitudes and longitudes, we come together to say we cannot walk alone. As our paths mix, combine, and converge, despite different obstacles, hurdles, and curves, we remember we cannot walk alone. And we don't want to walk alone. As loneliness is not human, we need each other's comfort, our knowledge to be shared, our stories to be told, encompassing a multitude of individual experiences that somehow sound alike, fights us from walking alone. So rather come, let's walk together. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Khaltoon, and you can find more of her work on her Instagram at Callie Collectives. So I'd now like to introduce you to Beth Wilson, who is Director of Bristol Refugee Rights, and she's going to talk a little about the newly formed Bristol Refugee and Asylum Seeker Partnership. So over to you, Beth.
Hi everyone, it's really lovely to be here. As Jules says, so I'm Beth Wilson, I'm the Director at Bristol Refugee Rights, and I'm going to talk about this exciting new development in Bristol that's happened over the last year or so called the Bristol Refugee and Asylum Seeker Partnership, or BRASP. In case you hear me saying that acronym, I'm a bit too used to it. I'm just going to check I can move that on. There we go. So, as Ken alluded to when he was speaking earlier, Bristol is made up of a really amazing patchwork of organisations that work together to support refugees and asylum seekers. And about 2 years ago, some of those organisations came together and said, let's see if we can do this even better than we're doing already. So that kind of patchwork had grown up very organically. Some of those organisations have been operating for many, many years. Others were newer, a response to the refugee crisis in 2015. And there were at least 16 organisations, all specifically working with refugees and asylum seekers, some with a very specific remit, like pregnant mums, others working more generally across all needs. And in addition to those, there are also lots of other organisations that have projects or services that are available to refugees and asylum seekers. So we were already working together operationally in lots of different ways and had really positive relationships between our organisations, and there were some structures in place that supported that. But we felt that as a sector of asylum seeker and refugee organisations, we didn't have enough of a voice within our city, and that we could actually do a better job for our people that we worked with if we could get better representation within the city and in our conversations with statutory organisations. We were also identifying that maybe there were some gaps that were emerging between those services, or possibly some overlap. And whilst we were attempted a lot to coordinate, sometimes because of capacity we didn't do that as well as we would like to be able to, and so this drove this appetite to be more coordinated. So who's involved? So as I said, there's 16 organisations in BRASP, and they're all listed here. So Aid Box Community, or ABC, Ashley Community Housing, or ACH, Borderlands, Bridges for Community, Bristol City of Sanctuary, Bristol Hospitality Network, Bristol Refugee Festival, Bristol Refugee Rights, Bristol Signing Support, British Red Cross, The Haven, Project Mama, Refugee Council, Refugee Women of Bristol, Southern Brooks, and Trauma Foundation South West. As I say, that's not every organisation in Bristol that works with refugees, but those are the ones that have come together in the last year or so to form this partnership. And that piece of work really began with defining what it was we wanted to do together. And so we've developed this joint vision and values for our partnership. So our vision of those 16 organisations together is that all refugees and asylum seekers enjoy healthy and fulfilling lives in Bristol, have a voice, and their needs are met by an effective, unified and sustainable sector. We share the same values of being lived experience-led, of enabling empowerment, of being inclusive, and of working in solidarity with the people that we support. That's led to the development of 4 strategic priorities. The first being operational collaboration. So we will work together to provide the best services. They will be inclusive, and there will be clear pathways through those services as people move on their journey. We will have the right infrastructure and governance in place so that we can enable that effective working together and achieve the best outcomes. So that will involve having a formalised partnership agreement and being able to identify where there might be duplication or gaps, and making sure that we are providing people collectively with the best service possible. Our third priority is around strategic voice and influence. So we want asylum seekers and refugees' voices to be heard in the city. We want their needs to be met. So we want to enable them to do that and develop inclusive and enabling voice representation processes, and also work together to develop lived experience leadership within the sector. Finally, we want all of our organisations and services to be sustainable, effective and efficient. So that's about looking at how we can fundraise together, make the best use of the limited resources that are available. So as Ken alluded to, I think in his speech, the partnership has worked together a lot since COVID happened. Originally, we'd planned back in March of 2020 to bring all of our organisations together for a lovely away day and all work out how we were going to work together in this new collaboration. We suddenly went, that's a really bad idea to put us all in the same room together, and we had to cancel that away day. But with that kind of, all the work that had been done in the lead up to that happening meant the groundwork was laid that when COVID hit, we all naturally came together and said, okay, how are we going to work together to respond to this crisis and make sure that all of our service users have got what they need during COVID? So we've produced since then a report on how we worked together during that period, which can be viewed online, and there's also a video of a specific launch event from the report. So I just want to share a few of the key achievements from that. So the first one is that the working together enabled our organisations and individuals, both within our organisations and our service users, to show great resilience. The second achievement was that more people accessed more support as a result of that equitable division of labour and resource. It's really hard to track how much more, but we know that between March and Christmas, at least £120,000 worth of support was delivered as a result of that partnership working. So that was a mixture of individual grants to people, payments to destitute asylum seekers, and the distribution of essential items, supermarket vouchers. And that was through directly organisations working together to make sure that those things reached the people that were most in need in the city and that no one was falling through the gaps. So the next key achievement was there was the clarity on each organisation's roles and responsibilities increased our efficiency and effectiveness. One thing that came out really strongly was that we all had put trust in each other during this period of time. Those relationships that we built prior to the development of the partnership meant that we were able to put our trust in each other, share out the workload, and as a result, the asylum seekers and refugees that we were there to support were better supported. Working together enabled us all to switch more easily to virtual and remote support. We were able to share our learning, share our resources, and work together to make sure that we were reaching all the people that we needed to reach. We were also collectively able to build our relationships with statutory services, and as a result, they improved their understanding of the needs of asylum seekers and refugees, and they provided better support. One example of that is that we worked very closely with the council around the Everyone In programme, which involved getting rough sleepers off the street during COVID. And through that, we've developed an amazing new relationship with the homelessness team in Bristol, and they have a much better understanding of the needs of asylum seekers and refugees. And even now that the government requirement for there to be everyone in has ended, they still want to really work with the sector to try and provide a long-term solution to end rough sleeping for asylum seekers. So what's going to happen in the future? So this partnership of 16 organisations has come together and made pledges for the future. So these are things that we have said that we want to do in the future. We know some of them are going to be really hard to achieve, but we want to go on this journey together. And some of the key ones, there are 11 listed here, but some of the key ones I want to highlight are that service user or asylum seeker and refugee voice and need will be at the heart of planning our services, particularly as we're all in a phase of change post-COVID. We will be clear with each other and with the outside world about who is doing what and make sure that we understand what the gaps are and work together to fill them. We will put time into working together, communicating and be generous with our time to each other. what we have found during COVID is that is so beneficial. And although at the time it can feel like you haven't got time to do it, actually, if you put that time in, we've all reaped the rewards. And collectively, we want to build our relationships outside of those 16 organisations. So that might mean widening BRASP to other organisations, but also building relationships with statutory organisations and other sectors where it can be of benefit to refugees and asylum seekers. So also as a result of the work that we did together, we pulled together some asks for our city leaders. And we put these to the mayoral candidates in both the Bristol City elections and the WECA elections. So there's a long list of them which are available on our website, but fundamentally we have asked them to take specific actions on things which we think they can influence, and we have also asked them to advocate and lobby on a local and national stage for a humane asylum system for all. We've also made asks to our city, to everyone, which include asks to statutory organisations to work with us, to ensure that the voice of asylum seekers and refugees is strengthened and heard, to enable us to achieve our aims. We've asked everyone who works with our BRASP organisations to help us be more effective and increase our impact. We've also asked others to be generous with their time, just as we have committed to being. Be generous with their knowledge and their communication, just as we have pledged. Ooh, sorry. That's it. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much, Beth. We were due to have Nina Hassan come and join us with some friends to do some drumming and singing, but unfortunately one of them's just been taken ill, so they've had to cancel their performance, which is rather sad, and we wish, I think it's Habiba, well, and hope that she is better soon. What we have persuaded Calton to come up and give us one more poem before you go, and then we'll say our goodbyes. But so, Calton, would you like to come back up?
Hello again. I've got a piece for you guys. I'm not actually going to explain much about it and just let you guys think about it. Yeah. If we rose-rooted, our hands would branch out, cultivating the greatest variety of greenery, all shades with shadows. If we rose-rooted, our legs would mesh with the earth, entrapped and released simultaneously until we get our footing, the niche we desperately search for. If we rose-rooted, our tongues would mimic the sounds of bashing leaves, hitting the barks and other objects with such posture. If we rose-rooted, our noses would track the history and presence of the surroundings. With each breath, the bark would shake, overwhelmed with messages. If we rose-rooted, our minds would envy the lifespan and strength of a tree, so much it would plant one. Thank you.
So we've now come to the end of this, our first live event for over a year. So it's been very exciting for us to see you all. Thank you so much for coming, and we hope you've enjoyed the evening. There's a little bit of time. You don't need to be out of the venue straight away, so if you do want to just kind of chat to the people next to you, that's absolutely fine. So if you do want to join any of the events, please do go to our website or social media platforms for more information. Please do give us your feedback. You'll see there's a QR code on the tables in front of you. I think it's being shared on the live stream. It's really useful for us to get your feedback, and so we can work to improve the events that we're putting on. Sign up for our mailing list. That will give you updates of everything that we're doing, and we've got quite an exciting programme that we're planning, hopefully, that restrictions don't come back down on us. and then we can start in the autumn again. And we're going to leave you with a very joyful piece of music from last year. It was a collaboration from the Fantasy Orchestra and one of our friends, Taban Osman, and other refugee artists. And it was done actually across, I think it was done, some of it was done in Paris and some of it was done in the UK. So it was quite a sort of clever coming together, but it's a really wonderful bit of music and should hopefully leave you smiling and with your spirits lifted. And otherwise, that's it. Thank you very much for coming. Okay.
جيزت سنين جيرات يشاوم زور تعيشين داويا فرشلين لشاوم زور جيزت سنين جيرات يشاوم زور تعيشين داويا فرشلين لشاوم بغلن جولار سردغانا نغ ميدان شرمي تاوتاو ناس كردني رناورن بغلن جولار جيزت سرين جيراك يشاوم زور تعيشين داويا برشن لشاوم زور جيزت سرين جيراك يشاوم زور تعيشين داويا برشن لشاوم سرين جيراك يشاوم زور تعيشين داويا برشن لشاوم زور جيزت سرين جيراك يشاوم زور تعيشين داويا برشن لشاوم بغلن جولار سردغانا نغ ميدان شرمي تاوتاو ناس كردني رناورن بغلن جولار سردغانا نغ ميدان شرمي تاوتاو ناس كردني رناورن زور كجيزت سرين جيراك يشاوم زور تعيشين داويا برشن لشاوم زور كجيزت سرين جيراك يشاوم زور تعيشين داويا برشن لشاوم